Welcome, everyone. Welcome, welcome. My name is Sonia, and we have Francis Gabriel here for our last series in this Wild Soul Wednesdays. This Holy Day 4-week series. This is the 4th day. I can't believe it. The 4th week that we've been gathering here. So we had the solstice and we had the Christmas sharing, and today we've been really receiving nil in a way. Yeah.
We're receiving the unknown
fully unknown. It's
Sometimes there's something that comes up clearly beforehand, and no, but actually this is clear. This is the unknown. This is the not clear. We don't know.
We don't know.
That's the
And how many of you are okay being in the unknown? How many of you been in the unknown this year? Nobody? Yeah, well, we're veterans of the unknown, but even the unknown sometimes it can be shocking at times, but it's humbling. So welcome to another Wild Soul Wednesdays. This is the last of our Holy Day series, where the intention has been to honor the slowing down and the inward soul, S-O-U-L, stis journey. And intentionally, if we're going, there's so many ways. There's the Mayan calendar, there's the Chinese calendar, the lunar calendar that a lot of those traditions follow. And if we're following our calendar here, the solar calendar, the new year is in a few days. Tomorrow's New Year's Eve, and we have New Year's Day in 2 days. And so for me, we've been feeling like intentionally from the 24th until today, really like not being very outward and not much creativity happening, attempting to sit down and write, and really I just want to rest and lie down and slow down and get down to the basics, waking up and moving the body, being in nature, eating food, spending time with loved ones, playing games at night, feeling really inward. And if we're allowing ourselves, during these last 4 weeks, it's been our intention for that. And so I guess that's what we're feeling right now. And this is what it feels to be in. What has been coming in is the decay, like feeling like, after this video, go out and check out a tree and leaves that look like they're decaying. It's still in the physical form. We can tell it's a tree, and yet it's shifted. It's like alchemy. It went from a little bright, energetic sprout and to a very luscious green leaf, to sunspots, to it falling when it's ready to decay, when it's releasing. And yeah, I've been feeling that, the decay of the year. I've been writing about the year of, last year, the first day of 2020, we started with a mini retreat with a couple, and then we went into whatever, the first 4 months, trimester, and then we circling around. So I invite you to spend some time reflecting on the year, physically, what's been going on in the outward, maybe you've moved, maybe you're no longer working at the same place, maybe your children are at home at school, or what is your internal state, emotionally? How are you feeling now? Did you allow yourself during these quarantine times to go deep within, regardless of the rhetoric of what's going on externally, to really utilize this time of, wow, this is the first time in the world where we all get to slow down? And I know that we did. We really took advantage of, aware of maybe potentially what's going on outside, but really not mattering, like what taking advantage of going within to slow down, to spend moments, the simple moments, having tea, spending time with our beloveds, eating 3 meals together and taking walks, maybe not gathering socially. I know for us, we haven't really gathered socially very much this year. And this New Year's Eve is going to look the same way. Maybe there's going to be some, visioning for the new year and resting and rejuvenating. So what is decaying, or what is deathing? What parts of you are deathing from this year? What are you ready to release? And perhaps you've released them, but maybe you're still feeling them in your body. Maybe there's remnants of the release that you're feeling in your body. So maybe your life is in a whole new trajectory. It's a whole, you've embraced a whole new way of life, maybe slowing down and going the undoing and the doing, and maybe there's more balance in your life. But the body keeps score, and so perhaps you're feeling it in your body. For me, I've been feeling it in my neck and between the shoulder blades, and feeling right along the spine, regardless of how much yoga or sauna or movement and being and stillness, I still feel that. And so honoring the process, honoring the journey, and focusing, inward. And for me, I've been focusing on those parts, and they've been talking to me. Times where I've had to force myself to do something, or I felt like I did, or closing down the back heart. So just tuning in right now in this moment of how your body is feeling, your physical body. Just tuning in, breathing into those areas. Maybe you're being invited to move into those areas. Maybe you're invited to be still. And reflecting on the year from last year, maybe in 3-month chunks. How was that the first 3 months, January to March, March to May, May to July, July to September, and September until now. That we live in a cyclical, non-linear dimension, maybe lots of different dimensions that we're in the 3D, but some of us can access all these other dimensions, and how to embody our God spirit being, where we have the ego fully engaged, that the ego is a servant to God, to spirit. That the ego is not in charge, and we forget about creation. We forget about the great mystery that weaves through us all, and we forget about the moon, even there being a full moon right now, the last full moon. So maybe you're feeling really full right now. Are you about to explode? I'm feeling that way.
That's what I was saying this morning.
I was like, what's the full moon in Cancer, right? A very emotional sign, inviting us to go right into the emotions, like what's wrong with me, or why can't I feel, or when we ask these questions. So there's the energetics of it. The fullness of the moon, that she pulls the tides. Just pulling the tides within us, and we're deathing, we're decaying. So utilizing this time with us in this moment, and continue from now until New Year's Eve, to harvest, to slow down, harvest your year. What was the most challenging? Maybe you overcame some really challenging, deep spiritual work, and really honoring yourself for that. Maybe you're alone this whole time. Maybe you didn't embrace anyone during this time. Or perhaps, your children are emotionally disconnected and challenged, being behind the computer. Or perhaps, there's so many different configurations of the year that you're feeling stress, anxiety. Maybe you're feeling the deathing of others. There have been many people that have lost their lives. Many people in fear in this moment. We're stuck in that pattern of fear, that wheel of fear. Maybe you're one of them in this moment. So pausing, breathing with us, and allowing yourself to decay. The you of this year is dying and deathing. We can allow ourselves to do this daily, seasonally, and then annually. And if we do that all year long, that these transitions can become transforming opposed to debilitating or confusing or chaotic. The in-between state, the unknown. So living our life in a cyclical manner, perhaps inviting that to be one of the intentions this year. Maybe it's we're not going to go to the gym, but Zoom gym, and also living cyclically. Right now we're in the winter, and part of me is like, the little voice is like, oh, at the beginning I see people creating programs, and it's like I'm still in the cave. There's definitely some things gestating within. Just honoring this cave. In other parts of the world, it's cold here, but there's snow and you're socked in. You're like living in an igloo right now. You're forced to slow down. So honoring that, yes, the year is ending and we're not like blasting off 2021, out the gate, that there is a transition. We're deathing this year. The new year happens and there's a transition into springtime. So although there might be some creativity coming through, to be kind, loving, and gentle with yourself, living more cyclically every night, deathing. Thank you for this day. Thank you for my life. I release the day. In the morning, thank you for the sun, this new moment, this rebirth of myself, honoring the seasons, honoring this year.
Yeah, and then feeling also acknowledging the polarity of the forces right now. There's a lot of opening in the alignment of the planets, and yet there's still that compression, like Saturn is being still very, very powerful, and the great teacher of winter endurance and the karmic lessons, very still present, just with Jupiter. So that the expansive force that wants to come through, and at the same time there's still that contraction. So just this play of creation. Yes, there is a time for it, and yet there is like that closing, and then that wave of compression and expansion, and inviting you to that moment to just feel. It's just like energy wise, just like a bubble this is the creation ball here again. For me, I feel it lots of my hands with the energy, and I'm holding, and in my life right now I can hold myself in my palms actually right now, and feeling that light and that bubble of energy, and then feeling what it wants to do, and sometimes just acknowledging, yes, it wants to contract. There's that contraction is like going inside, and it's going into the winter, and just like when we go and rise in meditation, or go and sleep or rest or do nothing, we're just resting here, and that's what it takes in order to eventually create space, and then we can expand more. And then sometimes the expansion, where we're not ready to expand all the way completely, because we're going to pop, and so there's a needed pause of reintegration. So there's a contraction again that happens, but it's a positive thing, and just seeing it for all differently. Sometimes it feels very challenging, but just embracing that closeness and that decaying in a way, but it's it's just temporary here, and then it's closing, and then taking again. And there's almost like with the lungs, we could do the same thing. We need to exhale before we can inhale. And so playing with that, so that's the cycle of life here in our own body, and what's happening outside, the universe and the planets happening in our own body, and just allowing, like sinking into that a little bit more, and feeling ourselves, like as we just like, right now, I feel like more, so transferring that ball of energy into our lungs and bringing it into our body, into our spine here, just like feeling that, taking a breath, and where does it stop, lower abdomen here, just now you can place your hands, just acknowledging what's there here, and being okay with maybe a little harder, so just breathing a little bit more, then you just meeting a little bit of resistance, and then exhaling after that, and just again, so deep breath in, and then letting go on the exhale, and keep focusing on the breath, and then scanning your whole, like your torso. We're talking about like the tree Sonia was talking about, like going meet a tree outside and seeing how it is. And so our tree, like the spine is our tree, the tree of life, our spine, and tuning in with that here, and what wants to come online a little bit more, just like a Christmas tree. Yogananda we used to talk about, Christmas time, and it's like to light up your Christmas tree with the lights. It's really like your spine and your chakras, and the Star of Bethlehem being here, the spiritual eye, and following that guidance that the three wise men, were, seeing outwardly in the stars, but it's really like the inner star here.
So being guided by your own inner star.
Coming back to yourself, deeper way. Breathing in, you're breathing your life into your spine, into your tree, the trunk. With the breath, life force, energy, vibrancy coming in. And exhaling everything that is no longer needed, and purging the old on the exhale. And relaxing everything around the spine, just noticing how much, are we aware of, shoulders tension anywhere, neck, loosening up, letting go. So aligning ourselves with ourselves, the deeper self that is in harmony with spirit, which is the true meaning of Christmas, the Christ within, the Son of God, the reflection of God in creation, the part of you that is divine in your body, in your life, reawakening to that awareness and consciousness. And sometimes in very, very small ways, with the very significant small steps, and appreciating and recognizing every steps. Coming to your heart, awareness of your heart, your chest, all around your heart, and scanning energetically how it feels, and see if you can go in and penetrate, and maybe it feels a little bit of tightness, or how is it? Expansion, and then as you exhale, see if you can soften up and allow yourself to almost awareness to go in and penetrate deeper, deeper into your heart. And energetically, almost like, there's always like a chamber, and there's another chamber within that chamber, and going to the core, to the center. Coming back and taking a deep breath in, coming back to your body and just noticing how you feel now, and maybe moving and any way it feels.
Just opening the spine. Maybe there's some realignment.
Alignment of the planets that people talk about, and let's just bring it back really like in your body, the realignment of your spine truly, and the different connections between the different chakras and the different, even physically, different vertebrae, and just feeling that. And yeah, and then also staying here in your heart and feeling pull out the flute and see how it comes out, and just allowing here again, doing nothing, the value of doing nothing at all. No planning, no processing, just being here.
Breathing into your heart. Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for joining us again. Continue breathing into your hearts, harvesting your year, honoring the decay, the deathing, and opening yourself to the new. Even if you're in the unknown, that's the magic. Keep breathing into the unknown. If that's where you're at, maybe it's very clear, or maybe there's, I don't know. Just keep breathing in. Maybe that's your mantra. I don't know, and I still show up. So it's been an honor, a pleasure, and a joy to be part of this 4-week series. I'm still in the I don't know with our next, but I do know that I'm going to continue with you all, and just not sure in what way, but definitely will show up, continuously showing up. So reach out if you like. We're here Otherwise, happy new year, renew year. May you feel renewed, going within, enjoying and being in the joy, lighting a candle and honoring this inner celebration. So blessings, much love. Thank you all.